Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has partnered with popular entertainment app D-Junction to provide critical information for Carnival to citizens and visitors. The app allows persons to easily locate police stations in all 9 policing divisions, as well as temporary police posts in the Port of Spain and San Fernando divisions at any time during the Carnival, Monday and Tuesday. So to give you more information on this, I would like to introduce to you the Commissioner of Police, who will now apprise you as to some of these important and critical information for Carnival 2019. So.
Good morning, members of the media. This is the final briefing that the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service we will be providing to the public, just to basically advise citizens and also those persons who will be here on a temporary basis, tourist-oriented, to advise of certain things that we'll be doing, the role and function of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, our operational capability, and certain things that can be brought to the attention of the public that can assist you in your safety and security during this carnival, the remainder of the carnival period. Before I go into the concept with the drones, what I would like to state is that every event that we have been conducting, we have been treating it as an operation. It is not business as usual. So far, so good. There's been a 100% success rate, and I wish to commend each and every member of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service in how they have operated in the performance of their duties. I think the public can safely say that they felt safer. We have seen it not just based on the statistics, but the fact of what we have done is to ensure not just for you to be safe, but to get that perception, fear of crime being eliminated from the individuals when you attend these events. There are a number of different initiatives that we have put into place that is not the norm. It involved immense research. We analyzed situations. We looked at threat assessments. We looked at situations that took place from years gone by in Carnival. And there are going to be a few changes that will also be brought to your attention during this press conference. Before I would like to have the goal commander for the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. He is the person that will be conducting and the major operational head dealing with all operational matters for the remainder of the carnival season, the Deputy Commissioner of Police, Mr. Dulalchan. So before I get into the concept with the drones and other elements, I would like to have him he will be able to brief you as to the role and function and the directions of the police service over the next few days.
Pleasant good morning. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has planned its Carnival 2019 security arrangements with the view of exceeding the expectations of all its Carnival stakeholders and non-Carnival stakeholders for this Carnival season and beyond. In achieving this goal, the plan includes the following objectives: to minimize opportunities to commit crime and disruptive behavior, to minimize traffic congestion to the traveling public, to provide high visibility around Carnival and non-Carnival areas and events including residences, businesses, critical infrastructure, and coastlines, to provide enhanced public safety and to preserve public order, to provide courteous, tactful, and responsive service to the public, and to prosecute offenders who commit violations of the law. The TTPS collaborated and have teamed up with key stakeholders such as the National Carnival Commission and its umbrella organization in MAS, PAN, and Calypso. Key security stakeholders include the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, our Operations Center, SSA, Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service, Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service, Customs, Excise, Immigration Division, ODPM, the Municipal Police and Traffic Wardens, as well as air and seaport security officers. Event stakeholders, which include Fed promoters, were also consulted. The Carnival Proclamation is set out in Legal Notice number 19 of 2019, and accordingly, Carnival will be celebrated from 4 a.m. on Monday the 4th March to 12 midnight on Tuesday 5th of March 2019. Carnival will be held as always throughout Trinidad and Tobago, which spans the 9 policing divisions and 52 locations. Legal Notice number 20 of 2019 sets out the Carnival regulation outlining the offenses, while Legal Notice number 18 of 2019 is known as the Special Events Order. In conceptualizing the security arrangements for the Carnival season, the planning consisted of 3 phases: pre-Carnival, Carnival, and post-Carnival. At present, the pre-Carnival phase is coming to an end, and to date, the Trinidad and Tobago service has policed approximately 100 Carnival events, 40 mega events. And generally, these events have been incident-free and have proceeded accordingly to plan. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service stands prepared and ready with its other security stakeholders to provide enhanced safety and security to ensure all masqueraders and spectators have an enjoyable and peaceful Carnival Monday and Tuesday. The parade routes have been finalized. Traffic restrictions, which include the relocation of taxi stands, will soon appear in the press. In fact, my information is that they have already appeared. The TTPS will be utilizing traditional and contemporary strategies and will be paying particular attention to Carnival venues, residential, commercial, and camping communities. All leave for police officers, both in the regular service and special reserve service, have been restricted to provide maximum manpower for Carnival Monday and Tuesday. Also, the welfare of the officers have been addressed to ensure that they are highly motivated. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service will be fully operational and will provide a highly visible presence in terms of foot and other forms of patrol, including canine and mobile patrols. Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, as the lead security stakeholder, together with the other security stakeholders, wishes to assure the public that its security arrangement would facilitate a successful experience on Carnival Monday and Tuesday. Also, police officers will be present at the various post-Carnival events, i.e. cool-downs, across the country on Ash Wednesday to provide a secure environment for the public.
Okay, thank you. As we move along, as I mentioned, what we do not want to do is that our concept of operation is not in any way designed to inconvenience deliberately patrons, masqueraders, spectators. What our intention is to ensure the safety and security of citizens during this carnival period. As I will commence with what I will end with. Our intention, our mission is to make this the safest carnival in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. As it is so far, we are on the right track. We would continue to operate in that manner with the things that would be required, whilst not in any way inconveniencing the citizens. Now, one of the things, again, I would mention has to do with the security at the Queen's Park Savannah. There would be certain things that you would see. It will be a difference in the operations with the police service at the Queen's Park Savannah. And again, this will be done in a way to ensure that everything that takes place at the Queen's Park Savannah, as much as possible, we will be able to have it locked in. You will actually see and understand what will be taking place on Carnival Monday and Tuesday. Likewise, there will be the use of a mobile command center, and that mobile command center would also assist in ensuring that we'll be able to monitor certain things. So basically what it is an operational command center on the ground, and this has been used at specific locations throughout major events. It was used at Marshall Monday, it will be used at other events, Soca Monarch, Kiddies Carnival, and so on. We also have operational command centers, and there's a major operational command center that is going to be set up at the National Operation Fusion Center, where the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service will be the catalyst of operations there, along with other arms of law enforcement. So we will be working together, seeing what is happening, working with the different agencies. And by doing that, we will be able to analyze what if any situation may materialize, how we intend to deal with it. As I said, every event we intend to have it as an operation. What you're going to see as a difference as well from the events that have taken place already and for the remaining events, it is not a set situation where all of the police officers will just be primarily in the event. The operational plan is being staggered to ensure that at the end of the event, when the event has ended and persons are getting back trying to get back to their vehicles, we have staggering of police officers assigned where you'll be in full force at those locations, making sure and ensuring the safety and security of the patrons getting back to their vehicles and dealing with traffic control to minimize as much as possible the traffic congestion that we would have seen for years gone by. One of the things, again, that you will see differently is the concept of drones. Now, the drones we would have seen in Trinidad and Tobago over the last few years, those are the drones that you would usually buy in Toys R Us or Walmart store. The concept of the drone that we will be utilizing here is something that's going to be a first in Trinidad and Tobago. We can actually take a look at it on the screen here, where actually these drones we are looking to have the use of these drones implemented for Carnival, but more so, this will be able to assist us in dealing with even securing our borders as well. You could just take a look at the screen, please.
Silent Falcon is the only small solar-electric unmanned aircraft system that has the long endurance required to fly extended range missions. It has the capability to carry a wide variety of payloads, which can be quickly changed in the field to serve many different applications, putting the Silent Falcon in a class by itself. In addition to a sleek aerodynamic aircraft and your choice of a wide variety of payloads and sensors, the system includes a state-of-the-art ground control station and communication system, a catapult launcher, and parachute for recovery. The complete system fits in the back of a pickup truck. Using the flight preparation stand built into the aircraft's carrying case, and with just 2 operators, a screwdriver, and a wrench, it can be set up and ready to launch in 30 minutes. Silent Falcon's main avionics are attached to a single rugged printed circuit board mounted in the upper fuselage. The battery is attached to the bottom of the board by a lightweight carbon fiber bracket. The open interface payload bay allows the Silent Falcon to carry the widest range of sensors and payloads, commercial off-the-shelf, as well as custom-made. Payloads are quickly and easily changed by removing 4 fasteners from the proprietary standardized payload mount. For safety, the motor, avionics, and payload are isolated and activated by safety keys. The parachute recovery system ensures a slow descent and safe landing. Ease of assembly is one of the unique features of the Silent Falcon. All the flight surfaces attach using proprietary simple slide and snap latches with single-point electrical connections in each surface. Exceptionally durable solar panels are molded into each wing. The Silent Falcon system includes a state-of-the-art ground control station with integrated communications, a flight computer, a payload computer, and a large high-definition monitor. 2 joysticks are included, one for operating payloads and one for manual navigation. Different comm systems are available, and with the tracking antenna can provide range of up to 100 kilometers. The ground station is quickly set up and designed to be operated by 2 people, a pilot and a payload operator. This allows the pilot to concentrate on the aircraft, while the sensor operator concentrates on the critical video and real-time data streams from the sensors. Operators can be fully trained in 3 to 4 weeks by Silent Falcon staff at either their location or at Silent Falcon's facility in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Planning the mission is an important step that can be done before or during flight using the included Horizon Autopilot software. Multiple radio antennas are installed, creating the strong link required for data transfer and long-distance missions. To launch the Silent Falcon, a steel spring in the catapult is energized by an electric winch. The pin is pulled, and away she flies. The Silent Propulsion system incorporates an electric motor and a proprietary 6-bladed folding propeller. Extremely energy efficient, and with any environmental noise, the system is virtually silent, even at low altitudes. The integrated solar cells and battery allows the Silent Falcon to fly for extended periods of time. Depending on the weather, payload weight, altitude, speed, and any other environmental factors, you can expect to stay in the air over 5 hours. Under ideal conditions, even longer. Once the mission is complete, using the landing calculator, the operator determines the best place to land. With the press of a button, the parachute deploys and flips the aircraft upside down to protect the payload, bringing the Silent Falcon to a gentle landing. The ground crew recovers the aircraft and the parachute, and the plane can be prepared for its next flight within 20 minutes. Silent Falcon, the most advanced Falcon in the air.
No, the concept of this, what is this going to do? This will turn night into day. It will be able to lock onto certain things, pick up information, feed in information to the operational command center in real time. And this will play a phenomenal part in actually dealing with us, looking at everything that is taking place for Carnival. And again, we are looking at this as a pilot project to move forward with something much bigger to be able to assist the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service in securing our borders. The next thing I would like to bring to your attention is communication. I think it is very important for citizens to be fully aware of the concept that persons sometimes during Carnival, especially if you have tourists, they're not aware of where they are, what it is, where they need to get to, where's the nearest police station. So we have now set up an app, and the app is going to assist us greatly in making sure that information can be fed for persons to be able to pinpoint where their Carnival band is, where's the nearest police station. And with that, I will ask Ms. Karim to briefly explain the concept of operation in the use of the app for the Carnival period.
Commissioner and members of the executive of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and members of the media. As the Commissioner mentioned, excuse me, I am the founder and developer of the Junction mobile app. We have been serving the national community since Carnival 2016 by providing important information that both locals and tourists would find extremely useful during Carnival time and beyond. Our most important feature at this point in time is a band tracking mechanism. And it really was developed out of personal experience and the understanding that there was a glaring gap, a missing link in terms of people being able to safely and securely navigate our towns and cities during Carnival time, especially in an environment which may be unfamiliar to them. So not only is it frustrating and tiring to go looking all over the town for a band, it is also putting yourself at risk and opening yourself to vulnerabilities and threats to your own personal safety. So we were therefore extremely thrilled when our very forward-thinking and progressive commissioner approached us to partner with the TTPS to provide critical, even more important, critical information to mass enthusiasts and Carnival participants during this time. On our maps that displays the location of the largest bands in Port of Spain and San Fernando. On those maps now, we are going to have included information about the location of police stations and temporary police posts. So I will do a quick demo of what that looks like on the screen. So when you navigate to the band tracking feature of the app, which by the way is available for download on all different platforms at no cost because it is a service to the national community, you can select the band of your choice. And this of course is live from Juve, as you see on the top, and for Carnival Monday and Tuesday. You select the band, and this marker here shows you the location of the band. What we have done is we've gotten important information from the TTPS, which shows with the lighter color here, police stations. And when you click on it, you will see the name of the police station, the address, and you will get direct dial phone numbers on there as well. These darker ones here, these markers, are the patrol zones. These are the police posts that are temporarily set up for Monday and Tuesday. And you can also find the one closest to you. So in the event that something happens and you need to find a police presence, you can click on the directions here. And once you click on that, it opens up an interface that shows you how to get from where you are, we are here on Sackville and Edward, and how to walk to the nearest police presence that you have selected. So what this does is it gives this information to anybody who is a pedestrian or who is watching mass or playing mass, and that they have an emergency. They cannot just find their band, but now they can go directly to a police officer in a patrol area or to a police station. They can get the number to call and get readily accessible assistance. So that is it in a nutshell. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So as we mentioned, what we're trying to do is ensure that there's communication, ensure that we have a proper visual impact to make information be fed to an operational command center. As we move on to Juve morning, we had several meetings with the relevant band leaders for Juve. We spoke to them about several different things. One of the things that we would like to bring forward is that, again, we are fully aware that Trinidad and Tobago, we do not think we'll ever have to or want to reach to the concept of similar carnivals that you will see, for example, in in Brooklyn, Labor Day, their Juve concept, where it is so regimented and it is so restricted that persons may very well be affected to have Juve like that. However, what we are trying to do is some degree of structure. With a degree of structure, it is going to assist the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service in actually knowing exactly where the bands are for Juve morning, where they will be having their bands moved to. And by doing that, we'll be able to know how to mobilize and utilize our resources in an effective and efficient manner. I don't know if it's on the screen. Do we have the photo of it for the Juve bands? So in Port of Spain, in the Port of Spain area that's not it. It's for the Juve bands. So there you see there, it has been set into five different zones where we've asked all of the Juve bands to look at these zones. This is not regimented. It is not a hard and fast method, but it has given us some degree of structure whereby the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service will be able to ascertain where the majority of the bands will go in. And by doing that, say for example, Zone 3 or Zone 4 will have the majority of the Juve bands. We'll then be able to utilize our resources of patrols and other uniformed and plainclothes officers in strategic locations to ensure the safety and security of the masqueraders and all other persons in those facilities. So you will see Zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, you will also see where the arrow is recommending that the bands go in a specific direction rather than they go left and right or north and south, whereby it can actually cause clashes, and by doing that, it will cause a restriction in the movement of the bands. It is not hard and fast, it is not mandatory, but I think the majority of the Juve bands have agreed to it, and this will assist us greatly in going through the system to provide the proper security required for Juve morning. We'll then move on to the Queen's Park Savannah itself. One of the things that we have picked up it is not just for Carnival Monday and Tuesday, but we would have noticed that on Saturday morning, Kiddies Carnival, we have seen a tremendous gridlock at the Queen's Park Savannah, started from QRC roundabout, going right around the Queen's Park Savannah. We've been thinking out of the box, and we intend to do something quite different this year. From 7 a.m. on Saturday morning, the Queen's Park Savannah would be two-way. And that two-way will be from the roundabout by QRC. And hold 1 minute. If you look at this here will remain one-way traffic. This will be the southern part of Queen's Park West, going up. When you reach by QRC roundabout, that area will have two-way traffic going right around into the area close to Memorial Park. We think that this will play a very big part towards taking away the traffic congestion, especially for Kiddies Carnival that takes place from 7 a.m. On the Saturday before Carnival, going right along throughout the afternoon. But also there's the National Panorama Finals, and then after we're aware of Mr. Lara, who has his event as well on Carnival Sunday night, and there's also massive traffic congestion here. So by having it at the two-way traffic, we are having meetings with the Ministry of Works to ensure that there'll be proper structure. So I wish to advise the public that there'll be two-way traffic for the Queen's Park Savannah from 7 a.m. on Carnival Saturday going until midnight Carnival Tuesday. Just some certain things that I will also like to bring to the attention of the public. When we make mistakes, we must be big enough to say that a mistake was made. There was an incident that took place in Marabella, I think a few days ago, where the Kiddies Carnival, it was stopped. I wish to apologize. That is not the intention of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. We are not here to put systems in place without the element of flexibility. We are aware of the importance of flexibility for Carnival, whilst at the same time ensuring that we do not become so flexible to ensure that the safety and security of citizens, masqueraders, and children can be breached. I wish to give you the assurance that there would be a degree of flexibility. What we would ask is for the organizers to also adhere as much as possible to your requirements. So if it is that there's a deadline, you need to adhere to it. In that situation in Marabella, it was unfortunate. I wish to give the assurance that we will try to prevent it from happening throughout the remainder of the Carnival season. I will also, again, this is a request. One of the things we have picked up for the Carnival period has been the majority of incidents take place because of glass bottles. It is not against the law for glass bottles to be used. I am humbly asking masqueraders, band members, organizers, all-inclusive bands. If as much as possible, we can try to refrain from glass bottles being distributed to persons on Carnival Day. It is not just about glass bottles being used as a weapon, but there have been many incidents where persons have been cut and damaged by glass bottles being placed all along the streets. So it is just something I'm asking persons to assist as much as possible. I wish to also take this opportunity, this being the Carnival season, that for FET promoters and so forth, we have now changed the pattern now where persons who would be requesting a bar license and are requesting the use of the police service, we have now opened a special event account where no longer they will have the inconvenience of having to pay cash or check directly to a police officer or a department. I think it'll be much better. It'll show a degree of transparency. It will make it much easier for those persons when they make these requests to have these events. I have also asked each and every police officer, it is time for us to step up. This is a time where I intend to ensure that we can have as many police officers as possible. We want to have the largest turnout of police officers on the streets Carnival Monday and Tuesday. Police officers who are even in administrative, logistic, financial departments, they will all be coming out in uniform. We intend to ensure, again, numerical supremacy and to make sure that each and every aspect of any concern can be dealt with, but we need to have the numbers. So we have put out all stops. That is why we are still on red alert, where we're trying to get the maximum use and effectiveness of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service throughout until Ash Wednesday. A final point, what I'm also trying to do is to try to avoid as many vehicles as possible parking on the streets on Carnival Monday and Tuesday. The more vehicles that will be off the street is easier for the flow. It is all, and again, if you have areas that are secure, it is better for persons trying to get to their vehicles and coming back from the vehicles. I have made a request to the mayor of Port of Spain asking for consideration for the use of Mandela Park for parking, which is something that was stopped for years now. It is not something that will damage the field. We have actually approved as well for the Police Training Academy, the South Ground, that's the hockey facility, for that also to be used for parking. If we can get those two facilities, we can probably get about 800 cars actually out of the streets. It is going to ensure the safety, a better safety and security system for the patrons, for masqueraders. So there are several different aspects that we are doing throughout the Carnival season. I wish to give the public the assurance we will do all that is possible during the Carnival season to ensure that we adhere to our mandate and our goal, which, as I stated, is to ensure that this is going to be the safest Carnival ever. With that, I'll open for questions, and it's not for the media. This is just one part of the press conference. There's another, Mr. Dulalchan and Mr. Meister will then step out, and members of the Police Social and Welfare Association will join me for the continuation of this media conference. So, but before we leave, as in the presence of Mr. Dulalchan, with him being here as the goal commander, I'm asking if there are any questions directly related to Carnival.
Good morning, Commissioner Kyle Saunders at My 95.5. Could you tell us the cost of these silent Falcon drones that will be utilized during the Carnival period?
Oh, I don't have it offhand, but this is just temporary. It is to be used over 4 or 5 day period. So this is just a temporary system that is used just to ensure we can have a lockdown for the facility for Carnival for Monday and Carnival Saturday. It will commence until Tuesday. I can't get the exact cost for you later on. I also want to take this opportunity that one of the things we are doing, as we spoke about the modernization of the police service and making sure that there is accountability, there is transparency, and again, in the change of the uniform, in the concept of the use of force policy, where you will have the belts for the use of the pepper spray, the baton, the stun guns, the radios, and the communication equipment. I'll just give an example, a sample of what the officers would look like with the use of the body cameras that have now become effective and being implemented. So, if you could please. So this is a concept of the body camera. Now, as you see, the body camera will be on one side. In the use of force policy, one of the things also it requires communication. On that, so you see on his left shoulder would be the body cameras. On the right shoulder will be a radio to ensure that he can have immediate backup. And then you will be seeing a belt that will be now worn with the police officer, and that belt will have all of the types, the items, and the tools required for a change for minimum use of force policy, which will now interact from the radio, the baton, the handcuff, pepper spray, tasers, and the firearm being the final use of force based on no other choice the police officer will have to secure his life or that of others with the use of the firearm. So the minimum use of force policy and the use of the body cameras, I think it will play a very big part towards not just ensuring transparency and accountability for the for the public, but to ensure that the police officers themselves can be protected, because and many times we continue to hear persons make wrongful accusations of the police officers. So now we will have cameras to ensure that we ourselves will be protected when wrongful accusations are made at us. Thank you, gentlemen.
How many of these drones...
Gentlemen. Yes.
How many of these drones will be utilized for the carnival that you have? Or that you
I will have to confirm. I think it's three or four. So they will be strategically placed. The drones will actually be seen in real time at the operational command center, which is at the National Operation Fusion Center. So with that now, we'll be able to have a visual concept of operations throughout the event, seeing everything that is going on from the air. The concept of the drones, in fact, it is much cheaper than the use of helicopters. It also provides, unlike what we would have seen previously with other items that have been used to deal with air surveillance, this is actually providing information in real time, being fed back to a National Operations Center. So by doing that, it will allow the units on the ground to know exactly what is happening so that we can mobilize the ground units to that situation based on any incident that may take place.
Commissioner Yolan Thomas from 9/7. You spoke about the largest turnout ever in terms of your troops. Can you specify the number? And can you say whether or not persons who fail to turn up for duty on these 2 days, if they would be penalized?
Yeah, okay, well, the first thing, I don't think it is based on their need to attend based on punishment or disciplinary measures. I think what we are seeing now in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is a great sense of pride and passion and wanting to perform, which is why we have seen such the numbers over the last few months. So it is not a case of that. May I also add that I take the opportunity that Mr. Dulalchan has formed a concept of operations to ensure we have 85 emergency response patrols. All 85 will be operationalized from 6 a.m. on Monday, Carnival Monday morning, on 4 a.m., going straight through until Tuesday night. So when you have 85 vehicles strategically placed throughout the country, we'll be placing a blanket throughout the country. They will all be GPS tracked. We'll be monitoring their area of responsibility and ensuring that they move immediately based on a 999 call. Mr. Dulalchan can give more specifics pertaining to the numbers.
As it relates to Carnival, when I speak to Carnival, I speak to the police officers who will be in fact policing the Carnival villages and the areas locations in which we have Carnival. We should have approximately over 6,000 persons. In Port of Spain alone, we will have 1,600 police officers.
Yeah, okay, and also, just a quick mention pertaining to traffic congestion. What we are trying to do as much as possible, especially with the events in Chaguaramas, Mr. Dulalchan, as the goal commander, there's a system that is working now to ensure that we can keep the traffic flowing. There's been a total transformation in persons getting out of Chaguaramas with all of these breakfast parties. It has worked. Similar situation as I spoke about with the Queen's Park Savannah with two-way traffic from the Saturday before Carnival. And even going back to the Chaguaramas area, we've seen a tendency where persons have utilized Sunset Drive in West Moorings, I think, but they use that, they veer off Western Main Road heading west to try to beat the traffic, and then by trying to get back onto Western Main Road, it will cause that bottleneck. So we'll be actually blocking off that as well over that weekend to ensure that we need to keep that flow going. We do not want to have the situation of gridlock where there's bottleneck and persons just trying to beat traffic, because when you try to get back in, that will cause more traffic. That's it? Okay, and that's just this now when the President and the Secretary of the Police Social and Welfare Association will now join me just for the second part of this media conference. Thank you, Mr. Dulalchan, sure. Mr. Meister. Oh, now you're gonna. No, you would do it when I call it. You could hit anything. I'll throw it on you. You'll run it. Okay. Yes. We'll immediately move on because I think we are still live. So Hello, we are still live, please. I wish to welcome the president of the Police Social and Welfare Association, Mr. Seals, and the secretary, Mr. Ramasa. And they will now commence this part of the media conference. Shall I start with Mr. Ramasa? Mr. Ramasa.
Thank you, Commissioner, for inviting myself and the president to this conference. As you know, Carnival is a period where sometimes you do incur challenges in relation to turnout by police officers. And we wish to reassure the membership that the association has met with the Commissioner of Police and that we are urging every member to make every effort to attend. As the Commissioner has mentioned previously, that this is not an instance where we want to have threats of disciplinary action being the trigger for police officers to attend. We, as the Commissioner has said, recognize that there is an extra effort of police officers to commit themselves to performing the duties that they are required to do as police officers. And we want to endorse that, and the association, from its performance during that period, we have assigned liaison officers to monitor any challenges that officers will incur by way of welfare in the divisions where there is expected to be a high turnout from members of the population. So you would find liaison officers in Port of Spain, Northern Division, Southern Division, Central Division, Northeastern Division, and from that area, the president and myself, together with members of the executive, will monitor that and manage that particular aspect of it. Apart from that, there were some issues that have been affecting the general membership, which include retention of officers who should otherwise be on leave. There are issues affecting promotion among the special reserve police officers, and there are other issues affecting the first division officers in relation to promotion from the rank of ASP to superintendent. We want to assure the members that we had a meeting with the commissioner this week, and those matters have been ironed out to the satisfaction of the association, and that all the issues that were affecting them that may have caused them to incur some level of frustration or disenchantment has been resolved, and the ways forward in terms of there has been a mutual understanding, and exactly what the members wanted has been given to them.
Okay, Mr. Seals?
Now, I would only address you on just some specific items, and specific items in terms of what our agreement was with the commissioner. And I think I have the commissioner's permission to speak on some of those items. One of the things that we are speaking about is the special reserve officer, who is critical to this events that will be unfolding over the Carnival. Let me say to them, and for them to be rest assured that we have been able to secure with the commissioner that promotion will be just after Carnival. I can say that categorically here now. I'm also going to say to them they can be happy that the commissioner will start the absorption process and training of special reserve officers from the end of March. He had given me a number of 500. More importantly, I want to try to twist his arm and let them go to 600. So at least we could try to get the special reserve into the regular Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. And I'm saying that because it's important now, because we need you to perform not with just pride, but with distinction over the Carnival period. Please do not let that performance over that period affect your absorption into the police service, nor your promotion. You need to come out and not perform with pride, but perform with distinction. So that's the first appeal from the association in relation to the Carnival event. The other thing that I would want to speak about is this. We would have also agreed with the commissioner that because of the use of the emergency response system, particularly the ERP officers, we have agreed with him that we are looking at having at least to get that wider coverage, one man in a vehicle over the period of Carnival for the purpose of patrol. I'm rehatching that because I know the commissioner would have probably talked about it, but we are in agreement with him having one officer in that vehicle for patrols. What I'm going to ask is that for on the basis of welfare for the officer, all I'm going to tell him, he needs to be very careful. He needs to also, when he's going to respond or engage a citizen, he calls for backup if there's a requirement fit, if he has to go into any dangerous situation. Likewise, I'm going to ask to the public, because we have a lot of visitors here, we want you to make sure that that engagement with those officers who are working in that special arrangement, that you do not unduly delay them. Let them get back to covering the nation and providing safety and security, which is paramount for Carnival. So for the officers, we have discussed and have satisfied ourselves that the commissioner have put the necessary platforms in place so that you will get the necessary support. So do not be daunted or afraid to work on your own or to patrol in that capacity, because this is the direction the association has been clamoring for. We need to move to new techniques that are available in law enforcement, and one man to a vehicle during the day and at some limited extent to the night, and provision of support is what is being done in first world countries. So we endorse that, and we support the commissioner in that regard in relation to that philosophy for over the Carnival period. Please don't delay them. Please allow them to go out to do their duty, because by delaying them, you can provide harm or create harm on their part, because they would now be engaging you and they will be unsuspecting of persons who are bent on making problems to Carnival. We know that, we see that. Don't unduly delay them, engage them, and for the officers, be as polite as possible. Please follow their commands. If they say you cannot go up that street, there's a reason for that. Don't try to question or rationalize that, because it only puts more problem in terms of us providing that needed security that you need.
Okay, thank you. Just again to add, the meetings that the Commissioner of Police and the Police Social Welfare Association, we intend to meet monthly. Every time we meet, it has been very constructive. I have learned a lot. They've become very instrumental in assisting me in dealing with many obstacles and things that we can fast track and we can find solutions and not problems. There are a number of things that they did not mention as well, dealing with the situation of overtime, the concept of we'll be putting on badges for all police officers where it will actually be shown with their numbers highly visible, and actually putting a chip to be able to ensure accountability. Dealing with the issues of sick persons on sick leave, suspension, polygraph testing. There was a concern with polygraph testing at the officers at the Southwestern Peninsula. It has been dealt with. I would explain that later on. So there have been a number of different things. May I also take this opportunity to clarify a certain matter that we saw in the air recently, and it had to do with the uniform of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. You know, unfortunately, that people will try to bury their head in the sand and not realize the concerns of what we are seeing in this country. People make claims about militarizing the police service. But I just want to show just a few examples of CAMO worldwide. This is by SWAT in the USA, the SWAT team in the USA, State Police in the USA, Montreal Police. I don't know if you all see something. Keep going, please. Quebec Police, Jordan, Russian. I could go on and on. We found over 70 odd. The fact of the matter is, people who have never probably traveled or actually gone on a site, gone further than Tobago, would not have understood what happens worldwide. Police service is not just about policing on the street. At times, police officers have elite units, and sometimes they are mandated to be involved in very volatile situations. I could give you assurance, if there's a repeat of 1990, this Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, if there's anything in resemblance of 1990 that took 7 days to deal with, this Commissioner of Police and this Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, it will not take 7 days next time around. It will take 7 minutes. And that is not going to be dealt with police officers in regular plain clothes. Yep. It will be dealt with elite units who are highly trained and who have the capability to do what is required to ensure democracy is maintained and the safety and security of the law-abiding citizens in this country. People have been concerned about certain things that I have done, whereby we have the situation of the red alert state. The red alert state lifted has enhanced the security of this country. I think over the last week, there have been just about 3 homicides, which makes an average of 180 in comparison to before the alert state, when we were going at about 11 homicides in 3 days. And people were upset about it. They were concerned. People are concerned about police officers having the right to fire to protect their own lives if fired upon. Now people have concern about the combat gear by the police service. If they are not aware, last year there were over 500 homicides. That is almost more than 2 every 3 days. In some countries, there are war zones, and less persons are killed in war zones than what we have in Trinidad and Tobago. So this is a war, but this is not a war against other organizations, but criminal elements. And the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, under my watch, we will do what is required within the law to ensure that the police officers have the best tools, the best training, the best equipment, and the proper uniform to prepare themselves for such eventuality. Certain persons, they have no interest about criminal elements where they're involved in the use of illegal weapons, killing people in cold blood, importing drugs and weapons, but their focus is on the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. They are trying to form conflict, but there's no conflict that you're going to get with the Commissioner of Police and the Police Social and Welfare Association. I can say in local parlance, we are all one family.
Exactly.
The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. We will stay together as a unity, as a unified force. What is happening is persons are trying to disrupt, destabilize the organized bodies of trying to ensure law enforcement in this country. We will not let it happen. I will ask you to be the judge and to understand what is happening, where certain persons are being very mischievous, trying to find avenues to cause disharmony. They have been calling certain organizations arms, constantly begging for their support because of their agenda. Their agenda is not to fix. Their agenda is to destroy. I give the assurance to the Trinidad and Tobago public that we will not be daunted, we will not be disrupted, we will not be distracted. We will do what is required within the law to ensure the safety and security of the law-abiding citizens in this country, whilst at the same time, we will ensure the safety and security of each and every police officer, and we would do what is required. May I just finally close by asking the public, there's a line that my father always told me when I was young. If people step on your toe, you tell them sorry. Let us try to be aware and cognizant to the situation where alcohol at times can be an emotional enhancer. So let us try not to get into confrontations as much as possible. Let us try also, I ask the public, try to avoid whining on my police officers, please. So when you go on the savannah grass, you could try to avoid, if you have to pick up something, do not pick up a police officer. And let us all work together to make this the safest carnival in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. With that, if there are any other questions?
I have a question, Commissioner. It relates to a statement that was sent from your office with regards to the ruling handed down by Justice Frank C. Prasad. And the statement says that your office, that you cannot abide by the ruling by Frank C. Prasad, by Justice C.
No,
Prasad.
that's not the release. You got it wrong. There's no release that we cannot abide by the ruling.
Over the reclassifying of the officer, but what can you tell us about
No,
that? But you, about
yeah, well,
your
okay. Well,
stance
firstly,
on it.
we already had a release. I'm sorry, but I will deal with that at another time. The press, that media statement was straightforward. It was clear, in total contrast to what you said. It was never. I would love you to show me. I'll give you this bottle of water to show me where it says it would not abide. You must be very careful of the words you use, sir. We never said that. We said we would abide by it, and we would adhere to it. That is what we said. But I intend to, and I think it's very unfortunate that you will make us say that we would not abide to the ruling. Typo? On your part?
Yep.
Yeah, it had to be.
Good morning, Commissioner. Good morning to everybody else. I just wanted to find out, as we're on the topic of camouflage and use of camo, questions have been raised this week after Marshal Montano took the stage wearing camouflage as to what is the law? Is the law for you? Is the law for me? Is the law for
Yeah,
him?
sure, okay. Chapter 1401 in the Defense Act of the Laws of Trinidad and Tobago, it is straightforward. You cannot use camouflage in the resemblance of the defense force unless you have the requisite approval from the defense force. So in a situation, Marshal Montano is not to be charged. Marshal Montano was given the requisite authorization to wear the camouflage. If persons do have camouflage that they did not get the requisite approval from the Minister of National Security and or the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, it becomes a problem. On a personal note, I think that we need to look at the law pertaining to if a child has a yellow camouflage toy or a lady has a pink camouflage shorts, that is against the law, that is a crime. Laws are made not to deliberately frustrate citizens, but to put a degree of security to ensure that crimes cannot be committed. If a lady has a pink short pants, I cannot see that being a crime. So I think we might be the only country in the world that we have made camouflage illegal. Camouflage is a pattern. The concept of the laws, in fact, in most countries, camouflage is allowed everywhere. In the Caribbean, there are several countries in the Caribbean where camouflage is illegal, but in the resemblance of the defense force. I don't think there's any other country in the world that anything that is camouflage is a crime. So if I have a camouflage water bottle, it cannot be used as to commit a crime. The reason why you make it a criminal offense is to make sure that the person does not imitate a member of the defense force or the protective services.
Commissioner, this past week the reports that 3 police officers were held under the anti-gang legislation. Can you Can you confirm that, and can you also confirm?
Yeah, sure. I would do that immediately after Carnival and after this press conference. As I said, I want the focus to be on what it is we are dealing with Carnival. Sorry about that.
But you don't think that would affect public trust?
Yeah. Well, I'm sticking to this to what we are dealing with here, sir. So this is related directly to this. Any other questions? Ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, thank you very much. Have a very safe Carnival. Have a good one.